We're here with okay, a team that I will say make you dream, and I think that's the answer. I don't really know. We've got Snowbar and Pete over there with us, and I believe you guys are way ahead of us in Danish time. But I want to say thank you for joining us. We go, whoa, Danish time. So what time is it there now?
Uh, Actually, right now it's 6 minutes past 9 p.m.
Oh, so it's late there. It's late there. Got it. Okay, we never know. First of all, Dream looks good. I'm gonna go in and so everyone can see it, and then they go, "Oh wow!" It's so here it is.
I thought I would never see the sea. Forever. Just a dream. But my dreams never gave up. New life. New hope. Flying so high. And being a star. But the darkness of war had drowned everything. And there was no light to dream. But when the war has burned away the ground beneath your feet, the ocean is all you have left. This is me.
Okay, I just had a moment right now. I said I think this is one of we have a lot of animations, every single year, but this year I see so many contending for like a top spot. Dream, what's it about? Because I'm like I got there's so much there. The music, the one who's narrating, and I go, what just happened? How long is it?
It is 15 minutes, and Dream actually it's a very personal story. It's a story inspired by my own life as a refugee and how my experience since I was a child. The war started in south of Kurdistan, the Iraqi part. You know, Iraq has been in the war for many, 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 many years. And I was just 10, 11 years when the real war started. And it never ended. And then when I ran away and came, and now I'm in Denmark. I've been here since 1991. And it's not easy to start from the beginning because your story is starting from zero when you want to start a new place. It was very, very hard. It's like you are going in during another war to get the recognition that you are a person, you have a story, you have a history behind you before you come here. That's about it.
I'm so glad it's here. Okay, and okay, I want an invitation. I'm trying to travel. I've been watching a show called Patrol of the Border, and they stop a lot of people from going. I have a passport, but are you coming to the U.S. or no?
I really want to, but the problem here is it's very busy, and it's at a time that I cannot because we are very busy here. We cannot leave it. Unfortunately, I would love. It was a plan that we should come.
Okay, well, we're glad to have you this way. I know we have a way to connect with others, and it's on panels, but I don't know if we're doing that. I'll talk to the people that be. But okay, so I'm going to say this. I'm glad it's a personal story. I like how you did it. You had someone else narrate, and why anime? Like, why did you do an animated? Because I think that right there, and obviously you have a great team to do it because we've been talking to everybody, and one took I think a couple of years to make. How long did this take?
Well, the process of finding financing was very long, and I have to say half of the film has been done before we get any financing. It was like we did it for free because I really wanted to do this film, and then later it took like longer time to find the rest of it to make it to go to production to make the animation because I did the story, I wrote the story, the script was ready, the storyboard was ready. We did the animatic was ready. Everything was ready. We just wanted to go to production. And it took a long time. Denmark is such a little country. It's not so easy to get funds to make this film. But later, actually, the thing that helped us a lot, it was the Red Cross from Denmark. That they really liked the film. They said, this is very good as an educational material in the Danish schools. And then that helped us in a way to get support from Danish Film Institute. to make it to real how to say, to go to production.
Yeah, they offer the distribution that the Danish
Yes.
Film Institute were looking for.
Yes.
Well, I love it. I've seen a lot. And I think I said it yesterday. You know, I used to be more like, you know, if it's on at the theater and it's Diz or it's something else, I'll watch it and then I go, yeah, and that's it. I go on with my day. So very rarely do I see something like this and I get to meet people in person and say, wow, because that really hit home. And it makes me want to say I want more of it. What's next for this? Because it's obvious it's going to win an award of some sort. I'm glad it's being featured at La Femme. I know we get a lot of submissions all the time and we have to decide what to do. I'm glad I'm not on that. I don't do that. But you know, when I get to see this, I go, wow, like, you know, so how did you two get this? Do you draw? Do you give them a snippet and then they do it? You say you had to raise money. How much money for something like this? How long is it again?
It's 15 minutes. The
Okay.
whole. Yeah. Well, the look. If I don't know if you talk about the art direction, all of it is from mine, and all of it it's like experience. Usually, I'm an artist. I'm painting also. Then I had an idea. Okay, I want to do it this way. I want to do it 2D in a compositing. We play with it. Then it looked like a little bit 3D environment. And I have my partner, Peter, which he was also one of the producers. He's always believed in me. He said, yes, I know what you mean and I know it will happen. But sometimes it's difficult to tell somebody else how I want to do it. And then at the end, when it's finished, they say, okay, you were right. It happened. With such an it's a low budget. I have to admit, it's not like a big budget. That's why you don't have time to make mistakes. That's why you have to really plan how to do it, and you don't take mistakes because you can't afford it.
Yeah, and it looks, I mean, I'm going to bring it up again. I've been doing this. They really hate me because, you know, we're running a little low on time. But the reason I'm bringing it is because sometimes I've seen this. You could tell that there's a lot, like, when you see it, I draw, and I have actually something where I want like a trailer and I want like it's just something simple. So I could say to the, you know, whoever's out there, we can make it a feature, but this is what we're going for. So I think that's kind of what you hit home. Do you want to make a feature of it, or is it a standalone? And are you ready for a feature next on something else?
I have a lot of story on my heart, and all my stories are personal because, you know, I have a lot of experience during my life. It hasn't been easy, but that has made me also strong. I want to tell it. I have a feature project. It's again about very personal, about something else, which I want to make it a feature. Then that one is not for young, it's for adult. It's about my friend which has died, and the last thing he did, he burned his dollars to get the warmth in the snow. He died. That's a very touching story. I would love to do this. It's about art and love during war. This is my next project I want to do.
La Femme is where it's at. I'm telling you right now, I'm excited for you and I'm excited for it. Pete, what do you want to see happen? Because it looks like you're helping everything, you know, and she needs that. She needs more people like you.
Yeah, well, I, first of all, for Dream, I just want to see that the travel around the world continues as it has, because it's a small film, and for instance, this festival offers such a fantastic opportunity for more people to see it, and it's very hard to get out a short film like this, especially an artistic short film. So I'm so happy that Dream is actually on a roll, traveling around and getting to like LA Film Festival, and that is what we want to see happen or continue to happen. And then next project comes along, and we will jump on that. Yeah, we will fight for it and jump on it when it gets there.
Or maybe somebody hires you to do a project for them because they go, you did that really well. So I'm going to show it because what? A lot of people are looking for that. You don't know that? They are. Anyway, there's so many people that are haters in the room. Okay. You're fired. No, I'm just kidding. You're hired. Okay. I can't afford to fire anyone. Anyway, here it is. Dream. No, seriously, I cannot afford it. This is, how much do you need to make it like another, you know, or a feature? If you did the math, did you do the math yet on like how much this is and how much a feature would be? Because it's not easy.
Look, for me, it's very important that this kind of story to come out, and I'm really happy now. It's in at this festival, LA Festival, and now it's in 3 other festivals nearby, also in the state. For me, it's very important to come out. That's why. Actually, I have to be honest. I have to work with something else to bring money home to do film, to tell stories like this. I really struggle. I don't have any vacation. I don't have weekends. We don't sleep. We have a house and we live in this studio, because as soon as I come home from my work, I'm very, very tired. Right away on my computer, draw and write, to make it happen. And that's why it doesn't need a lot of money to make it. I just want to make it, because all of my effort, almost 90%, is for free. I do it on my film, and the rest, the thing I get, the funds, it will go for other people who work on it.
Yeah.
You said it. Thank you for saying. So many people say, no, I do this only, and they're really working another job. And then you see them at the job and you go, oh, I get it. You need money plus in order to be able to not have a job, right? That's really what you're asking, right?
Yeah, exactly.
There's no shame in that. I think a lot of people are saying, oh, that's my life, right? Which is why it's hard.
Yeah, it's very hard, actually. I love it when they will come to be able to stay in this room and make film and tell the stories, because I have a lot of things on my heart, and I know I can do it, but it needs also time. It needs me like a freedom to just do this, to work on these things.
Okay, well, La Femme is where it's at, and I'm glad you No, you didn't submit yours? Why not? Do it next. Oh, I tell people all the time, do it. I'm glad you guys did it. Here it is, all right?
I thought I would never see the sea. Forever. Just a dream. But my dreams never gave up. New life. New hope. Flying so high. And being a star. But the darkness of war had drowned everything. And there was no light to dream. But when the war has burned away the ground beneath your feet, the ocean is all you have left. This is me.
Well, I still cry when I
get it, and I'm a guy. Hey. I want to see a storybook of this, by the way. Can you take certain shots and make it a storybook and then sell that as well in tandem with it? What do you think?
I would love that. That.
Yeah. Do. I did one, and but I'm like, it could be a little short. It's a short, I guarantee it. Butterfly. All right. Dream. I love it. I'm going to dream. Thank you so much. Thank you for being with us. And I'm glad you submitted to La Femme.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great one.
Yes.
Okay. More after this. Stay tuned.
Bye. Bye.
We have with us Alexis and Alexandra. You guys are awesome. I'm so glad you're here with us. You have something, and I'm just going to try to read it. Mort prepares for the most important day of his life. Who's Mort?
Mort is our star, our protagonist. He's a lonely old man.
Okay, and here is the carnal soul. Check it out. Okay, all right. I'm going to say this. I don't know if I should. First of all, let me say this, because Mort looks, that little scene, it might be short, but when you understand Mort, you go, he looks a little like what are you doing to me out there? And I think you guys are in like angel sphere, and you're saying, okay, this is going to happen. Just so you know, be all right with it. He's like, I'm afraid to go out, or is it something different?
I mean, there's a reticence, certainly. The reason it's so short is because it's hard to kind of get into what it's about without giving the punchline away, and there is a punchline to the whole thing. So yeah, he's more hesitant to confront himself. He's not having a good day.
I could see that just at the beginning, his face, like it said everything. Alexis, what's going on? How did you connect on this? And I don't want you, if you're in angel sphere at any given time, I don't want you to direct my life because I saw his face and I don't want it.
Well, I was approached by Alex about a year or so ago. I've known Alex for about 10 years. And we always wanted to work with one another. And now is the time. And she approached me with this short film. And I read it and I got it within 1 second. It has a very old school comedy feel, a little Larry David. And like Alex said, you know, we can't give too much away. There is a punchline. But no, Mort's not having a good day. And you'll soon find out. It's a bit of atonement. It's you know, a little sad, heartbreaking. It's all of it all in one. And Alex did a miraculous job to capture that in 12 minutes.
Oh,
I'm glad you said it. 12 minutes. Yeah, it's a 12 minute.
12 minutes.
And because sometimes people come and they want to see a whole, and I go, dude, like we have those, but you have to, you know, because we put them all together with others, and you go, oh, you know, and it's next, and then, but with that trailer, it's 13 seconds, but it really says what it is. But you got to know that's Mort, and Mort's going to have a day. How did you? Okay, who came up with Mort though? Was it on someone, or you're just like, this guy's just going to go through this, or was this a thought that came to you? How did that happen?
No, it just kind of was an idea that occurred to me one day that kind of made me laugh. This idea of, you know, reflecting on your life at the end of it kind of, we always think we're doing what's best in the moment. It's rare that, you know, until we reach a certain time in our lives that we really look back and reflect and reflect in a very nakedly honest way, you know. Yeah.
I get it. Try not to give too much away. I get it. Every single one of them. Everybody doesn't want to give away. I'm like, please tell us what it is. But I get it. It's called See It, support, you know, friends and people that like see that scene. Just, you know, get a pass and see. But the Carnal Soul. Oh, that's there's a clue there. Why Carnal Soul?
So the Carnal Soul as a title is taken from a Rumi poem called Death is Our Wedding with Eternity. And the passage is, you know, for those who live in the light of God, whatever that is to you. I'm not making a statement about God or anything. But for those who live in the light of God, the death of the carnal soul is a blessing. So this idea of sort of relinquishing control over our sort of corporeal expectations, you know, our single-minded connection to the material world and all of the kind of suffering that causes us.
Carnal. There's nothing good about carnal. I don't know how you put it, but there's nothing good about carnal. I seriously, some people are like, I'm living carnal. Alexis, obviously you're working together. You say, look, it had to come together. It had to happen. It's La Femme. Thank you for bringing it. I don't know whose idea it was to bring it to La Femme, but I say, listen, because you're going to be surrounded by other people. And I guarantee there's more coming from you. Is there anything that we're going to see around the corner from your team?
Well, first off, we have to thank our PR, Deborah Gillis. She's the one that hooked us up here. Yeah, no, she's wonderful. She's been great. You're going to see a lot more of us in the film. We're submitting it to everywhere. We were nominated for the Dubai Film Festival, and we're very excited about that. And we're just going to plug away and make this into a series. So this is not just the only thing we're doing. And I have to give a a plug to our lead actor, who was absolutely wonderful. And for those who may see his face and recognize him, it's Bob Gunton from Shawshank Redemption. So he really just, I mean, he was fabulous. Everyone, the whole team, the DP, John DeFazio, the crew, everything just worked out beautifully. And that's why we're here, because we're very proud of it. And it wasn't just Alex and I, it was just a full team of dedication and loving the story.
Well, I love it. I can't wait to see it. It's right happening at La Femme. Go get your tickets. It's not hard. Or get an all access pass. You get to see everything, and you get to meet everyone that's there. Are you guys coming to LA?
We live in
LA. Yeah, we're gonna be there for sure.
They never say location. I never know location. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say thank you to both of you. Thank you. It's the Carnal Soul again. You just got to see the face. See the face. Okay, I'm gonna do it real quick. Here it is. Watch. Why did I hook up with these people? They're going to keep me here for more. Carnal Soul. It's all good. Yeah, right. I don't know if it's safe to go out. All right. Thank you very much for spending time with us.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it a lot.
Thank you.
Pour more.
You know, in the beginning, all films were short.
It's not a charity. We're not here to help you. We're not here to help your cause. We're there to make our money make money.
It probably takes a year to 2 years to really start seeing money.
That title of executive producer on a feature is not the same as the title of executive producer on a television show.
Because what you're seeing on television right now is history in terms of where decisions are being made today.
Don't give yourself a bad review before you start.
I'm sorry, I'm super awesome, and this is my pitch.
What are recommendations for packaging?
Getting to the right person at the right time, and you have the right piece of the package that they want to see.
And be able to adjust, because the plan will never execute exactly as you plan it.
If you set aside money for social media, for a publicist, for marketing, things like that, and really you don't have to sit behind those dollars, and you can have more control of your own release.
You can't go wrong. But as for me, I knew that my episode was either going to be awesome or fine. That's the risk you take.
Okay, we have with us Nancy, Bonnie, Valentina, everyone from everywhere. This is awesome. Okay, check it out. It's called Lady Parts. I'm going to let you figure out what Lady Parts is talk. Should I play it, or should I just let you describe it? Go ahead.
So Lady Parts is actually based off my own true story. You might not know the words vestibulodynia, vaginismus, vulvodynia, but they are all 1 in 4 people will experience chronic vulvar pain sometime in their lifetimes, and we don't feel comfortable talking about it. So back in 2016, I got what's called a vestibulectomy, which is where they remove the nerve endings at the opening or the vestibule, and had to move back in with my parents for a very fun family affair of getting surgery on my vulva and vagina, and decided what better way to celebrate it than to write a comedy feature film and help spread awareness and get people comfortable talking about their bodies. And thus Lady Parts was born.
I'm just going to let you see it. Here it is.
Metro Gynecology, how can I help you?
Hi, I'd like to make an appointment. So it's kind of like a knife digging in kind of pain. It's only down there. Next Monday at 3 p.m. Works great. I'll take it. Thank you so much.
My new dog sat on a cheese grater.
Didn't know you had a dog.
Yeah. Poor thing. Happens more than you think. Everything hurts. Tampons, tight pants, riding a bike, sex.
Your lady parts.
So it seems that Paige's symptoms are the result of vulvodynia, specifically vulvar vestibulitis syndrome.
Ooh. So I'm going to have surgery on my vagina, and then I can just go back to my life?
They're not gonna hold this job for me for a year, while I'm getting my vagina in working condition.
You should be grateful that you have a place to come home to.
I'm gonna figure out how we're gonna pay for all this.
This is your daughter's vagina we're talking about. Money is secondary.
I'll come right back.
Again, my vagina, not a family affair. I'm writing up a blog post.
Are you gonna post it?
It's like really personal. I mean, no one's gonna read it anyways.
Paige, do you have a moment to chat?
Honey, you do whatever you are comfortable with. I am positive that people would benefit from your story.
I used to ask myself, what's wrong with me? Why aren't I normal?
My vagina's gonna be just fine. I got fucked up nerve endings. Oh, you called me crazy. So I think I'm gonna have another.
Not it.
Not it.
Have you tried yoga?
I can always do more.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I saw that and now I understand why it is what it is. Because I actually know a therapy where they help you, and I don't know the terms. One of those terms I know, but I think you can all be doctors now on. You're like, I didn't even know what that was. So, but I love it. Good job. Lady Parts is where it's at. And you're right. People need to talk about it because they don't talk about it. Who wants to go? I'll let you, because I can get in so much trouble talking. Because if I say it as a guy, I get in trouble. When women say it, it's all right. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing too, is that we want men to be talking about this. Like, we went to another festival and someone came up to us and he said, I just became a new dad and I'm so glad that I watched this, because what if my daughter has to go through this? And what if she has to go through anything? I want to be able to support her and not feel uncomfortable, because it's just another body part. And the thing that's great about our film too is that it's not a documentary. It's not just about the medical stuff. It's a comedy, and it's about family, and it's about how even when things are awkward and uncomfortable, we can care for each other.
Yes, and I'm not gonna lie, you picked the right actress to do the whole
Yes,
yeah, Valentine. Like, wow, you really hit it right there. And when she did it, did you feel it again, or did you have to explain it? Did you what? And then even that moment, there was a moment where they're talking about it at the table, and the person's like, I'll be right back. I didn't, because I've been in moments like that with my mother I'm like, Mom, be quiet. They don't understand the whole, it's awkward. It's all awkward.
Yeah, I would say specifically a lot of what we talked about. So Nancy is the director. She did an amazing, fantastic job. She also has vaginismus, and I have vaginismus. So I feel like that part, we were both able to be like, here's what dilators are. But when it came to the vulvodynia aspect, which is the nerve endings and the surgery, there's just really small intricacies, like how you would, because your legs are stuck together straight like this for 6 weeks. You can't separate them, can't move them, you can't sit. You're basically like flat on your back or shuffling. And so little stuff like that where you're like, oh, we would be shuffling maybe like this. Or I would set up the sitz bath and I'd be like, this is how I would have used it during that time. But if anything, I always say it was kind of like a healing journey, being able to kind of watch somebody else go through it in a fake way, of course. But like, being able to watch that and put it out there was like the most cathartic thing I probably could have done after.
Valentina, do you have sympathy for, the lady parts?
Oh my goodness, yes, absolutely. I did my best to try to imagine what it would be like. That was literally my one job for this movie. But to really think about like the years that Bonnie went through this, like beginning from her first period until now, and the fact that there's other women that like, I have coworkers I was telling this movie about too. They're like, oh, what did you film? What are you posting about on Instagram? And I explained it to them. They're like, what? And it's like they're figuring out they have something similar. So it's just I don't know where I was going with that, but yes, I have sympathy. Yeah, it's hard to imagine, but I'm honored to be given the job to imagine it and do it for this movie.
Well, again, I've had conversations, and I know this, and I don't even want to say how I know this. I have a person, I've recommended her to several, because there was I don't want to say it because people are you're very open about it. My mother's like, don't say what I have, and she doesn't have this, but I know of women that have this, and I actually support endometriosis. There's a huge organization, and a lot of people don't know what it is. Some go under the knife. They actually, some say that some presidents' wives have had this. Women have had this. They don't talk about it. It creates a problem for, in sometimes a relationship because the guy doesn't understand. I'm glad that guy was understanding of his daughter possibly, but some don't even know because they don't talk about it at all. And it could create a problem for life, not just for everyone, but really the woman who has it because it's so painful. They don't know how to describe it. They go, well, it's always painful. You go, no. Something else is painful and I don't get it. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. And on top of it, too, I feel like there's a lot of medical gaslighting that happens whenever you go to the doctor. They'll just tell you, oh, it's all in your head. Pain is normal. I even had someone try to tell me to drink wine before sex to make it less painful. So there really isn't much out there about this topic.
And here's the thing, too, is that the more that there is out there, like not everything has to be a documentary. We can make comedies about this. We can make dramas about this. The more that women tell their stories of their true lives, the more that we can learn together as other women, as a society, as allies, and as doctors. So, comedy's changing the world, people.
Yeah, and it makes it okay to talk about. I know we're running out of time. We're running a little long on this. Endometriosis, I'm going to hook you up with maybe the person that does it. They wear shirts, yellow, and I think they would promote this all day long because they go, now you get it. So good job to all of you, Valentina. I'm not going to say, but you definitely played the part. Like how you said to that lady, she's like, what's going on? Oh, it happens. But because people don't want that out there, right?
Right.
No,
very
very
vulnerable.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
She did amazing.
You really did, Valentina. All right. So what's next for y'all?
We're going to a couple festivals coming up. We're going to be going to Austin Film Festival after this. And then we have a few secret festivals that we can't announce yet, but we're really, really excited about.
That's okay. La Femme brought you all together.
Oh, yeah. We're
right now.
Excited for La Femme.
So let's La Femme that, right? I think it fits, lady. Whatever. It's French. All right, people. Thank you for making it with us. And again, go get your tickets right now. Thank you, y'all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. See you at La Femme.
We'll see you there.
Thanks. Bye.
We have with us Danielle. Danielle, you have, and it's called In the End. And the description is very interesting. It says Abby is a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed psychology research assistant thrust into an underfunded study for suicidal elders. Huh?
So it's basically the story of Abby, this young woman, just sort of finishing up her undergrad in psychology, hoping to get into psych studies and different studies. And she's sort of placed in this one just for her summer job that is about geriatric depression and suicidal elders. And so she sort of is thrust into this and starts to develop connections with some of the patients, which causes some problems with the psych study and interfering with the data of the study and of the what they're trying to research. But basically it's just a story about connection and the importance of having some type of connection with another human being and how vital that is to survival.
And it's called In the End. Now, and I'm glad, look, so there's more to it. And, sometimes you're the writer. Let's go with that. So writing this rather than, because sometimes we have people talk about a story, and sometimes they're acting in it, as you just saw in our last one, or sometimes they're directing it, and but this is personal. How did you come up with it?
So I had a friend actually who worked in a psych study in this area of geriatric depression. And I was sort of inspired by the story because she's just this like bright ray of sunshine, and just thinking of her in that space with someone, in like a very dark place in their life. I just thought that might be an interesting scene. And it sort of went from there. She told me some stories. I did a ton of research on geriatric depression because to me, it was an interesting subject. I never really thought about it because the only people really that I knew that were elderly, my grandma and her sister, they're just the happiest people. So I never really thought about getting to that point and feeling, so down that you're suicidal. It's just not something that really made sense to me. So I just wanted to learn a little bit more about it. And it seems like there's two really just main themes that put someone in that place at that point in their life. And it's usually loneliness. So a lot of the time they just end up, most of the people that they know have passed on, and they just don't have those deep connections to people. And then another is having some sort of regret in life that you haven't been able to resolve. And it was just so interesting hearing some of the stories that my friend had of people, telling her their deepest, darkest regretful moments in life, telling her instead of telling the people that they wish they had resolved something with. And it just felt like a very important sort of cautionary tale that I feel like should be talked about a little more.
Well, I'm glad you did it, and I've been asking writers because I've have a couple scripts, but and I know because I've seen scripts that are really good and ready to go, and then I see scripts I go, ooh, you need something, I just don't know what you need. Now I go, oh, I get it, I know what you need. Sometimes a rewrite is important. Sometimes you don't want to rewrite, but I do have a question on something that you said. You said I did research because I'll give you an example. I did a book, and then my mother's like, I have a story, but she wanted to do all research. I said, Mom, that's going to stop you from doing what you want because it's almost like a rhyme type just way of saying because it's a storybook. But did you do the part you said it was a scene, and then did you do that and then research it, or did you research it and then put it all together? Because sometimes it could lock you in a way you go, shoot, like I had it,
Yeah, I think I did a little bit of both. I like to, like, if I have a scene in my head, I definitely like to just focus on that and get it all out first. And I normally, when I work, because I have done some biographical work before, I usually just like let my imagination do what I want to do. Then I'll do some research, and then I try to blend the two. And I never really know where I'm going with the story until I finish it. The first round anyway. And then obviously there's rewrites, but I try not to structure things too much so that I can let the creativity flow.
I'm going to recommend that because I don't think I got through to her. And I said, what is, and then she came out with the first sentence and I wrote it down for her. And I said, okay, write that out in cursive because she does shorthand. It's really like, so she can, like, you could say what you want and she'll take it word for word for word. But I'm like, please don't interrupt, because if you interrupt, it's that flow that you're in. You go, shoot, I'm thinking too much about it. Because sometimes you get the dialogue, and you're like, ooh, is that strong for you? Is dialogue strong for you? And then do you have it read by other people to say, ooh, that might not work the way it was in my head?
Yes, absolutely. That's a really, really important part of the process. And it's also very important to have people that don't love you read it, because the first person I always go to is my mom, and she'll always just say, oh my God, it's so amazing. It's so wonderful. And then I'm just like, all right, perfect. Then it's perfect. But she's also my editor because she's also a writer, and she was an editor for years as her job as well. So she always edits my work, and it's hard. I don't like editing at all. So that's the part for me that's difficult, which is why I send it to a lot of people to get a lot of different perspectives, to like force myself to work on the things that I have to work on.
Okay, this is what I've been doing, and I could be wrong. I don't know if you do this. There are programs, and they're getting expensive. I'm sorry, you guys. Like, you used to be able to, like, Final used to be where you buy it, kind of like Word. You buy it and you got it, and then if you want the new version, you can get it. Now they have like a monthly, and you go, I don't have that much money, but now they have certain ones. I've been promoting them where you can hear the dialogue and it does certain voices. And then I just close my eyes and I see the visuals. And if it works, it works. If it does not, it does not. And then if I need to edit it, I can put it in. So I have something else recording while I'm like hearing it and seeing it visually with my eyes closed. Do you do anything like that? Do you use anything like that?
Well, I'm an actress as well, so I do a lot of these things. We have actually filmed a couple scenes just for ourselves, just kind of to play around with what it sounds like out loud and what's working and what isn't working. And so I usually, just with a bunch of actor friends, will try to play some of the scenes that I've written in different works, just to make sure that the voices are accurate, because it's definitely where you find plot holes. And sometimes the way you say something in your head, no one would actually say in real life. And it's definitely good to speak those things out loud for sure.
Yeah, my mother always says, no one says that. I go, you have not learned. Like, there are people with accents that say half of words. They don't say all words. Like, they don't have proper grammars. Professors do and scientists do sometimes, but even they kind of, and then she gets stuck. So I don't know. I needed someone else to bounce off, because lately she's like, I don't want to hear another story. I have a lot of stories. But, you know, I'm glad you could bounce it with your mother. I'm glad you could do it. I'm glad she's a fan of you. When my mother says I love it, I go, oh, there's something wrong about that, because I want an unbiased opinion, you know, from someone else. You know what I mean? Because I know it's a little different, but I'm all right. But I need to edit it all the way. So I'm like, what do I do with that? And what do you do? Do you ever go like with another person and say, why don't we write it together? And then, or do you just, no, I'm going to write it all myself and that's it? Because I've seen some things and you go, there's, like it says, story by, that would be you, and then write by. And so, you know, you got like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 people. Do you ever do that? Or
I do not do that. I maybe one day. To me, it feels like I couldn't like let someone else like say the things that I want to translate into my head. I feel like that would be too hard for me. I've had other people direct things that I've written, and I thought that was going to be horrible, but it was actually really cool to find someone who you could connect with so intrinsically that they completely understood the point that you were going for. So that felt great. Maybe the next step is co-writing something, but I'm not quite ready for that yet.
I am, only because I want a tax credit. So I'm working with, they don't know I'm working. I hope they don't see this, but I'm working because they're Canadian. And when you have like certain Canadian people work with you, I'm like, let's do it together. But I have the primary. Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Who knew? Yeah. But so I have the primary, and then, you get, and that's the thing. That's why you want to get hired on by others. Cause you're like, Canada, look into the tax that they have. If they have a writer like you, even as an assistant of another script, you can get pulled in, and then they get more credit just for having you as part of it. And then there's a certain, I remember somebody at another, it's called AFM. They're in Vegas this year, but they're usually in Santa Monica. And they were speaking to me and they said, well, and the person was really promoting Canada shooting, but he's like, I'm a writer, just so you know. I go, oh, but at the time I wasn't writing. I wasn't doing anything. I was just interviewing people. So I'm like, I had ideas and I have people that are writers. So I wasn't ever like, I need to hold on to your information. I'm like, shoot, I should have held on to your information, because he had it and he was promoting. So keep going. What you're doing is what I'm saying. And I can't wait to see more. How many films have you made with a script?
I think this was maybe my 5th feature-length screenplay. I've written some shorts too, and I've also written some plays. So I have a couple of short plays and then one full-length feature play as well.
I have a play, but no one's going to believe it. And I can't even say it because everyone's going to take it. It's one of those. All right, Danielle, thank you so very much for staying time with us. It's called In the End. Again, we actually have a lot of people that have a story, and it's pretty much ready to go. So there you go. There it is, right?
Thank you.
All right, we'll see more right after this. Daddy's Little Spy. This is something I'm going to tell you, Julie. I'm looking at the description, so I'm just going to, as it is, unless you want to say what it is. But I think the description kind of hits home. But do you want to say, or do you want me to read it? Okay, we need to get your audio real quick, dude. Yeah, we're not getting audio. Oh, it's all right. We'll redo this. We've been through this. It's all right. For those of you tuning in live, we appreciate you. We see you watching. You can comment, by the way. We have comments that if you say something, we had some comments yesterday. I apologize to the people that are watching. We didn't see it in time, but sometimes we could put it up and be like, "Oh my god!" But sometimes we see it late, you know. But Julia, just when you maybe choose your settings. Here, I'm going to get you off that way. Adam can help you, and then Adam, go ahead and help Julia. And I don't know if Julia, you had someone else supposed to join. So, and I know we're going a little. Yeah, no, you're on time. Yeah, but I guess some other. Or I'm not. Yeah, so I'll let you coordinate with Adam. Adam will help you. I'm going to take you off real quick, and then more right after this.
My great-great-uncle John Hill was an English engineer who went to Egypt to work for the Pasha, Muhammad Ali. In 1837, John Hill joined the famous expedition that explored the pyramids of Giza, led by the British aristocrat, Colonel Howard Vyse. I've decided to go back and see for myself.
We're here with Julia, and Julia, we're hoping you're working right now. Okay, this is a test. We want to get your audio. I guess we don't have your telephone number.
Is this better?
Oh,
No?
that works. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
well,
that
let's
works.
go
Can you
with
hear
this.
me? We're good.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So let's go ahead and we're going to start over for you. And for those of you tuning in, this is what it's called live. So this is what happens. See, we did the big shows. They just ended it. All right, we'll be right back.
Yeah.
Let's go. If you can, Adam. We have with us Julia, and Julia, you got something. It's called Daddy's Little Spy. And I'm going to just read the description. It's an action comedy screenplay in which a CIA operative must apprehend a criminal out for revenge on her dad without blowing her cover or his ego in a small town dynamic. In between the action, the story explores the daughter-father relationship in the wake of the mother's death. Who do you have that you want to play the operative?
Actually, there's a perfect actress. She is Latina, but she can play anyone. Christiana Lucas. She's done something with Arnold Schwarzenegger. So she's just got a lot of range. And I think that she can also bring the physical element. I do not see myself. I'm just the writer.
No, I know Christiana. It's weird that you like. She'd be like, "How do I know you?" I think we have a mutual friend, but and I know who you're talking about. Okay, and so how did you like? So are you already wanting her to play it, or are you like, or you just know, or did you write it for her, or?
So we work together on it, and we both love our dads. We both have great daughter-dad relationships. So we started writing it together. We've written several scripts together. I do more writing, and she brings the actress element where she's making us act out the scenes. So this one again was another joint project, but I do more of the writing. She brings the actress element to it, and it makes it more fun. As you know, writing's very solitary, and so having someone to bounce ideas with, or a writers group, that's been great.
Yeah, and I'm glad you're doing it. And again, I saw her promote something. I said, wait a minute, we know each other. I'm like, how do we know each other? Because sometimes time goes by, and yep, there she is, Christiana Lucas with the CH. And that must be okay. So, and she's doing some stuff. She's already acting. She's a great actress.
She
Yeah, we know a
really
lot of the
is
same people.
talented and very creative.
And I get it. So, all right. And I want to see it. I want to see it because you got so much going on. What does it take to make it? Because this is a script. We have a script. You can submit your script. You're good to go. And it got accepted, La Femme. So we tend to know each other in the world of the area. I think you're in the area, right? Are you in LA or around?
No, I write remote, and then I just come into LA, and that works because then I appreciate it.
And it's expensive here. So we appreciate you coming this way because it's been expensive. Anyone that lives there's like, I think I want to move. I go, don't move. And then you go, maybe I should. So, but I love that you're doing this. When you came together on this, obviously she has thoughts, you have thoughts. Is it more you than her, or some of her that goes, no, you don't know what it's like being around, someone,
On some things, I would say that because I'm doing most of the writing, I win. That's usually how it works. But no, we have a really good way of talking it out, and then remembering the big picture. So that in general helps, that we're in sync from the beginning. So I don't write anything unless I have an outline. I know where the story's going. Each character has a backstory. I give them an emotional wound. Every now and then something might come up that's a surprise through research, or that will just add more to the story. But I try to get as much of the details up front through an outline, as well as a more detailed outline. I have an entire process.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. Yeah, okay. And I'm going to ask a very general. It's just so happens people are like, wait, talking about Christiana because I know Christiana. That's why.
Well, she's my writing partner on several.
Yeah.
We have at least 3 that we've written together, and then I have some that I couldn't wait, and I just started writing. So.
Yeah, and I love that she promotes, because a lot of people don't promote, and but why don't you promote? And I'm talking about social media promote or anywhere else,
right?
And that's how I know, that she was accepted to La Femme and go, oh, I can't wait, and now it's here. So it's kind of one of those personal connections. But to those watching, go follow, and I think you're on social media too. What's your social media?
I'm actually Tortilla Princess Engineer.
Awesome. Okay, so let's talk about again script. I talked about the last one, script. How long is the script?
So Daddy's Little Spy is 90 pages, 92 pages, with the idea that some of the fight scenes that will need and require more choreography. And I'm actually in a stage combat class to help me write the choreography, and that will probably add more to when it gets made, it'll add more to it. But I'm working on writing better action scenes. And I'm the first to say that taking stage combat has made me a better writer and have a huge appreciation for actors and what they go through, because it is a lot of work to both learn your lines and the fight scenes and then combine them. You know, I've seen it, I appreciate it, but having to do it myself, it's been a challenge.
Yeah, it can be. A coordinator, get a coordinator. I know people in stunts, and you want to get a coordinator to be able to say, "Ooh, this is possible, and this is possible, this is possible. This is how much it's going to take to do." Because sometimes, and I know Christiana's like, "I'm going to do it. I'm going to jump. I'm going to do this and that," and you go, you might get hurt doing that. Tom Cruise got hurt. Oh, who do you want to play? If I'm reading this correctly, again, Daddy's Little Spy. So basically, who's going to be the dad if you could have like unlimited budget? Because I saw something recently, it's on Netflix with Jessica Alba, and she put it together. I think she produced it, she did everything, got picked up by Netflix. Because some people are like, you really want a woman as lead? I go, dude, watch that movie with Alba. She has another one coming right after it. It's not that hard, and I think you could do it. So who would you have as the father?
Honestly, if budget wasn't an issue, I would love to see Christiana back together with Arnold Schwarzenegger. They when you see them together, the way she talks about him as a person, it's just, there is a mutual respect and genuine caring, and I think it would be a fun dynamic because Arnold is very physical. He's very gifted in that area, and I could see that he would have concerns about his little girl and, you know, her secret life. And then her, and this is some of the things we talked about, was, you know, as a daughter, seeing your dad get older and seeing your dad not be the strong hero that he was to me, for example, and seeing them be more human and age. You know, it's hard. It's hard on daughters to see their daddies not be wow. And I think that would be a perfect dynamic if, you know, if the stars align.
Well, yeah, I've got a couple others in my head. I don't know why Liam Neeson.
Okay, I'm open. Go. I mean,
yeah, Liam Neeson's in my head. I don't know why. I want him in everything. My mother loves Liam Neeson. I go, you can, because my mother doesn't like radar movies.
He would make a great daddy figure. Yeah. He plays it all the time in what was it, Taken?
Yeah. Well, and others, they're all on Netflix. You go, he's always, it's a commute, it's a train, it's a, you know, he shoots people.
No,
he did it, Andy, I think.
He would be fine as well. And
anyone
there's a
tough
gentleness about him.
Yeah, anyone tough, that's all right with Christiana being dark, because they go, man, I feel old all of a sudden. You know what I mean? Like, and they don't want to. Stallone could play, you know, Expendables, any of the not all the I don't know. She could be adoptive daughter. What? Anyway, go watch the Alba one. It's really good.
come in all colors. You're the first to know that, Aaron.
Yeah. We're do we know each other, Julia? Are we connected on social media? When people call me that,
we should be.
Okay, we'll connect. But the point is this: I think you got it. I love the world. There's somebody that can play, but I want somebody big on this. All right, we'll figure it out, because it's a very small world, and as you said, she could play everything. So Daddy's Little Spy, it is what it is. I can't wait for it. I have not yet read any. Don't read them, because I have okay. They're saying don't read other stories because you're gonna ruin our. We're working on a story together, so they're in the room. What? Well, then submit. Why don't you submit? Okay. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say, Julia. They're very tight-lipped. Thank you so very much for spending time with it. Again, it's La Femme and Christiana. Make sure Christiana's with you on the carpet, okay?
Yeah, well, I'm sure she'll be there.
Okay, awesome. We'll see you around the corner. Thank you.
All right, bye.
You know, in the beginning, all films were short.
It's not a charity. We're not here to help you. We're not here to help your cause. We're there to make our money make money.
It probably takes a year to 2 years to really start seeing money.
That title of executive producer on a feature is not the same as the title of executive producer on a television show.
Because what you're seeing on television right now is history in terms of where decisions are being made today.
Don't give yourself a bad review.
before you start.
I'm sorry, I'm super awesome, and this is my pitch.
What are recommendations for packaging?
Getting to the right person at the right time, and you have the right piece of the package that they want to see.
And be able to adjust, because the plan will never execute exactly as you plan it.
If you set aside money for social media, for a publicist, for marketing, things like that, and really you don't have to sit behind those dollars and you can have more control of your own release.
You can't go wrong. Like, but as for me, I knew that my episode was either going to be awesome or fine. Like, that's the risk you take.
We're here with Lauren, and Lauren, you got something going on here. It's Remember Me, and it's a short, but it's very, like, the description's very, I'm just going to let you see it, and then we can figure it out together. Okay, Lauren?
Sounds good. It's so good to see you, Aaron.
Yeah, same. Here it is.
The best part of me here is playing with the kids.
For me, it was these two young girls, Francesca and Esperanza. As we came toward the end of the week, they started using a word I had never heard before. While I speak Spanish, I am nowhere near fluent, so I couldn't tell what the girls were trying to say. Can you help me? But they kept saying it. Recuerdas. Recuerdas.
Okay, first of all, awesome, and I'm ready to see it. And also, how long is it?
It's about 6 minutes long. It's a short film about the service work that me and my team have been doing across the U.S. and around the world to serve impoverished communities.
Okay, now, and this takes place where?
So this specific film is in the Dominican Republic, and it's in the Bates, which are little sugarcane little villages within the sugarcane fields. And the people that we work with are migrant workers who cut and harvest and take care of all of the sugarcane in all of those fields. And so we're helping to improve their lives.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Now, I will say this. Well, who's shooting that scene? Because that scene, I was like, ooh, I've seen it, and I go, ooh, and I go, wait, what is going on here? and I don't speak Spanish. What does it mean?
Sure. So my dad actually shot the videos, and then I helped edit and put it together. So it was a big team effort between us. And also, spoil alert, first of all, if you don't want to hear the ending, just, mute me if you want. But these two young girls, Francesca and Esperanza, I hung out with them the entire week while we were serving with them. And toward the end of the week, they started using a word that I just didn't understand. And the word was recuerdas. And they kept saying it, but I didn't quite understand what they were trying to tell me. So I pulled in Jose. He was one of our translators to help me understand what they were trying to tell me. And he explained that the word they were using was recordar, which means to remember. So the girls were asking if I would remember them of all the things in the world that they could want: food, water, clothes, education, a fix to their leaky roof. What they wanted the most was to be remembered. And so by making this documentary, I'm proving to them that I remember them and that people around the world remember them as well.
Got it. Like, record us, remember us, please don't forget us. Thank you for being with us. Oh, I get it. It's so much, because I tell people, can you please remember? But they don't. And anything. I'm like, you have Alzheimer's coming, I guarantee it, or dementia. I don't know. Anyway, good job. I'm glad that you said your father did it, because like he did a shot and I go, ooh. I'm not gonna lie, I thought you did the shot, and then I go, wait, how can you do it? And like do it. So because they have those little they have those ones that fly around and they follow you. It's a thing. Look it up. Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, look, you obviously are doing some really good stuff here. I'm happy about this. You did something a lot of people don't get to do. Was it like, when you went, did you think you were going to do a film, or did you come back going, I got it, let's do it, because I know how to edit and I know how to put it? What do you edit on, by the way?
Sure. So my dad actually, he filmed the entire week. So I took a group of 20 from my high school. And so he filmed the entire week so that we could come back to my high school and say, hey, this is the impact that we had. And but we took that that film, and I put it together and edited it together, and have submitted it to a couple film festivals now, and to share the message of what our impact is. So
this is purely selfish for the filmmakers in the room. I know you want it because you're like, I am going to travel. I want to do a story. What kind of camera did you use?
It's an iPhone, actually. It's an iPhone 14. We just used an iPhone. And then we had little like lapel mics if we wanted to talk about something.
And did you have it hooked up to like one of those like balancers or?
No, my dad has very steady hands.
Steady?
Yeah, he's very steady hands.
I want him on every job. Well, I thought it was one of those. No, we have a hookup with their Nikon. You need to get it together. Canon. I seriously thought that was one of those other cameras. Okay, all right. I know they're doing a film. That's probably why. So it's the 14, huh? Oh,
yes.
Okay, good to know. Everyone's like, I want that. Because when you see it, you really get it. I'm glad he did it with you. I'm glad you brought it. How long did it take? Because that must have been a lot of footage. When you do nonstop, and I did it once, I was like around 15 or 16. I had one of those Sony camcorders, and it was expensive at the time. $800 for me, that was expensive. Circuit City, right? Because I was a little kid. I don't have a way of paying it back. I'm like, and we got on credit, so we probably owed like $2,000 at the end of the day. But my point is this. I'm getting to a point. Quiet. Now, the point is, when I shot it, I didn't know what I was going for, but had I known, because there's just a lot of footage, you go, I don't know where it's going. So you took the time to make a story out of it. And I think that's the part everybody needs to focus on, because that's the hard part, right? How many hours did you go through?
So I'll be honest, it did take a while to edit, but with the story that comes together like that, it really told itself. And so finding those clips that brought the story together and really showed what our message is and what we're trying to share was fairly simple. So it took a lot less hours than it probably should have, because the story is just fantastic.
Who in your family, let's see, I'm trying not to get into something I always do, but who in your family actually, like, because you talk, and I see this, Lauren is a first-time filmmaker, and then I go, you talk like every filmmaker that I've ever talked to when you say it kind of did itself, like it wasn't that hard. So do you have more coming? Because I think your family needs to invest in you a lot.
So as a first-time filmmaker, my goal right now is to share my message, and being able to use film as an outlet to be able to do that and share with more people and build that impact more is really my goal. So if that means making more films, I would be so excited to make more films. And if that means using other things, then that as well. But I definitely think more films will be coming.
Did you run out of room? Because I have a problem with iPhone. I'm out of room. Did he ever like, oh no, too much? Or do you have like a way of getting it? Because I have a little connection. I have it somewhere here. It looks like this, and you connect it, and then you just connect it to the iPhone, and then you get it out on files. I don't know if people know this. You should promote that. But because now I have questions on that, because I want your father on every I want to travel. I could do a story. I have her edit. No, it's boring. Whatever. So I guess I'm out of time. I'm sorry, but
no
Lauren,
Thank
you
so
got
much,
some pretty
man.
amazing stuff. Keep it going. And it looks good. All right. Remember, I'm going to show it. What? I know we're out of time, but I really like it. All right. I'm going to let you go, Lauren. Here it is. Watch.
The best part of me here is playing with the kids.
For me, it was these two young girls, Francesca and Esperanza. As we came toward the end of the week, they started using a word I had never heard before. While I speak Spanish, I am nowhere near fluent, so I couldn't tell what the girls were trying to say.
Can you help me?
But they kept saying it. Recuerdas. Recuerdas.
Lauren, I'm excited for you. Please look me up in the years when you're super hard to get, and you're going to get an award at probably one of the Oscars. Okay.
Thank you so very much. I'm excited to see you at the film festival. And unfortunately, I can't be there on Saturday because it's my high school homecoming. So I'll be there the other days. But
of course, so important. Drop it. Trust me, this is your future, not your homecoming. But that's all right. See you later.
I'm so excited to see you there. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. We have with us Sister Strain. We strain in the one scene. Okay, I by the way, I know this, and I'm telling you, I was like all the way through. I was like, huh, interesting. Call of the Blackbird, and evidently you're known as. Okay, I'm just gonna read. Call of the Blackbird is the Sister Strain's directorial debut feature film. You both have names. I didn't know your name because I just saw the trailer. I'm not gonna lie. What's it about?
So this film is actually semi-autobiographical. We lived in Toronto 10 years and then LA for 2 as actresses, and we had a great time, built our resume. We had to come back because of COVID and kind of started again, took on a new career, and kind of thought the dream had died. And then we realized it was just a reimagining, and we kind of learned how to use where we are and bloom where we're planted, and that's taken us much further than we ever thought, right? We're now having a directorial feature film that we've self-written and produced and star in, and yeah, that's what it's about.
I'm just going to bring it up so you can understand what I'm talking about. I didn't know. I thought you guys were actresses not making the film. I thought they put you in the. Here it is.
No.
I watch. You'll see what I'm talking about. I only saw it without knowing. I don't read it all. Give me time. Here it is.
These country streets call my.
I grew up on the bank of a river. I left you at 17 with big dreams and an even bigger pride.
My babies are home.
Well, the big shots are back from LA. You used to act, didn't you?
We still do.
My breath is cold.
I thought I'd be doing something else, being someone else by this time.
This is a stopover, a means to an end.
Honestly, I don't really know who I am when I'm not being creative. Why can't I be?
You've accomplished many things. I think there's more here to offer you than you realize. Kind of like blooming where you're planted.
I'm no longer living for just in case. This life chose us and we must live it the only way we know how. I've been bent, I've been bruised, I've been burnt, and I've been broken. But I've also become boundless.
Blackbird, 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 need you to guide me now. Blackbird, blackbird, blackbird.
I love that you need shirts. Are there shirts? Because I know people that want to buy that shirt. Call of the Blackbird. Why the title, by the way?
So Blackbird's actually, the symbolism of Blackbird is embracing the mystery of life and trusting that you'll have the answers when you're supposed to. And the whole concept of moving back home took us by surprise, and we didn't really understand why at first or what we were supposed to do with it. And then it has unfolded in ways that we couldn't have expected. And there's also a fair amount of blackbirds, red-winged blackbirds in the pond across from my parents' house. So it just kind of named itself. That's where we filmed. So our parents play themselves. It's a very experimental film in that sense. The concept of using what you have and trying to do it really well so you can showcase the skills you have in the industry. Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I literally thought I know at the end it says your names right at the top. I didn't because I just saw it really quick and I go through all the trailers, right? I want to be prepared this time because sometimes I'm not prepared. But anyway, that's a whole other story. But Call of the Blackbird, I really thought somebody else wrote it and you guys were acting in it.
No,
and then
we're very tenacious women. So we took it on. We really made the film as a production powerhouse team of 2. We did wardrobe, set, catering, craft services, everything. We did the whole thing because we have bigger budgets that we want to pitch, and we keep getting told the same thing. Our feature film directing isn't competitive enough. So we were like, we have to bite the bullet. We have to invest in ourselves and show what we're capable of. And so we put our poetry in. We did an all original soundtrack with songs that we've written. And we were like, no one's going to have any questions of who we are or what we're capable of after watching this film. Yeah.
Well, okay, and I love it. I think of Wachowski, right? They get in each other's heads, and then they go, "Whoa!" And you never saw Matrix coming, right? Do you have something like that coming in a way, or not really?
Like you mean like a trippy kind of like twin, like psychology kind of thing? Is that what you're?
That works too. I'm just saying the Wachowskis, like they kind of like they just I don't know. There's something about sometimes people say I don't want to work with anyone that's like a brother or just. But or just I don't want to work with, like, me and my mother. I don't want to work with my mother, but she has stories. I go, let me help you get it there. But you work really well together, and I think sometimes you're in each other's heads because that's what twins do, right?
And I think, someone asked us recently, well, you shouldn't really say both. Like, are you a writer who directs or a director who writes? And Kat's answer was, I think I'm a writer who directs, and my answer was, well, I think I'm a director who writes. So we kind of. There's different skill sets we each have that, one picks up where the other one is a little bit weaker, and somehow it just works out really well. But we're able to really intuit each other. So it kind of just makes for a flawless transition because we just know when the other one's having a good moment, we let them lead. When we see that they, need some assistance, we kind of jump in and we just read each other that way. Yeah.
I have a sci-fi I want you both in. So the good thing is you're writers and directors, but you also act in anything. Like if somebody wants, because I think of I think of like, okay, perfect example. In Avengers, you think like they grew up in the industry, right? The twins, right? What? I know, I'm sorry. But the Olsen twins, I'm sorry. Yeah. But in Avengers, you have one, and then you have the other one, and she's doing a lot of really good films, by the way. And I never know which one's which because it looks so similar. But they're, but in Avengers you only have one, witch.
That's actually Elizabeth Olsen. That's their other older sister.
See, I don't know how this works. I don't know who's who in any of these.
She's a third sister. Yeah. We actually do a lot of, as actresses, we've been hired a lot for horror and sci-fi. Funny enough, since you mentioned them, our first role ever was playing photo doubles for Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen in their movie New York Minute. So we were 14, they were 17, and our very first job in industry was on a big budget feature, playing them in parts where their faces weren't seen.
Don't show them this. I've been getting everybody mad at me because I go, I don't know names. I just thought I'm so wrong. I'm so sorry. Anyway, I'm a huge fan. I think it works. I have asked, and I don't know how to say it. Do you have any other brothers or sisters that or is it just you two?
We have we have other siblings. They're not in the entertainment industry by any means.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, you never know. You never know. I love how you used your family in this, though. And I know what you're talking about. And I said, ooh, that's pretty. And sometimes, as long as they bring the money, you could be in it. What? You just give them, right? You just shoot again and again. You go, am I done? And you're like, you're acting like you are Marvel, and you're not. So just, but yeah.
We brought the money, but they opened up their home to us, and they faced their biggest fear of being on screen. We come from very a humble family in the country, in a very small town, not artistic in any way. So it was they faced their fears to be a part of it with us because they trusted us and they opened up their home to us. So we're very grateful for that.
They're going to want a production credit. I can almost guarantee it. Thank you so much. It is what Call of the Blackbird. Again, we can follow you on Instagram, Sisters Strain. I cannot wait to see more stories. I know they're not all twin, and I cannot wait to see the next one that you both do on what? They have a lot of people that they know. What? It's a town. Sometimes do you need a permit in the town? Because sometimes that's probably one of the biggest, if not the hardest in certain areas. Because when they stop, you film. Did you ever get stopped?
No, we definitely reached out beforehand and made sure the community was behind us. And hasn't been a lot of filming happening here. So I think we kind of got in before they've put that on the radar. So we really were able to cut a lot of corners that way.
Because when you have a home to shoot in, all you need is light and everything goes together, right?
And a good camera, lighting and a good camera.
What camera did you use? Or were there multiple?
The Komodo.
I didn't know that. There's a couple scenes at the beginning I love, by the way. I'm like, oh my God, those little ones, they have a story. Yeah, do that. I think you're good to go. All right. Thank you so very much for spending time with us again.
Thanks for having us.
It's called The Blackbird. You can get it. La Femme. Awesome. I cannot wait to see more from you.
Thank you so much.
All right. I have with us Mo, and Mo, you got this. It's She Rises Up, and I'm just gonna. Do you mind if we just go ahead and go into it?
No, that'd be great. Let's jump in.
Okay, here it is.
Wouldn't you be haunted if, like me, from the moment you were a little girl, you hear these stories of young people, my people, dying out there on the ocean? They're leaving because they have no jobs.
To say, let a woman save a portion of her salary that cannot be touched. 2 women came back the next day, beaten up.
The easiest way out will be for us to say that's enough, and then what will happen to the people.
Ay, mi pueblo en Santa Rosa, andaban los terroristas en la calle. Dije, tengo que hacer algo. Así me duele.
I was interested in helping as many women who looked like me, producing something and bringing it to the rest of the world.
Me puse a pensar, no, nunca hay empresarios. ¿Por qué no ser empresaria?
I see the potential of this to really uplift our communities.
When a woman is making money, she doesn't have to put up with situations that are not right. That's the power of a job.
Uno puede romper las cadenas. Así sea de fierro, se puede romper. Eso es lo que pasó en mi vida.
We have to, as women, have the right to decide how we want our futures to be. We have to have the choice.
வீட்டுகளே சார் பெரியம்மா அம்மா அம்மம்மா அந்த மாதிரிலாம் சொல்லுவாங்க பாய்ஸ்க்கு சேமா நம்ம எப்பயுமே இருக்கணும் நம்மளும் வேலை செய்யணும் அப்படி.
We just intend to be the catalyst to what's possible. And then the magic happens.
Okay, first of all, wow. Second of all, so how did you put this all? Because that looks like what I'd see around the world already, if that makes sense. And I know La Femme is international, but how did this happen? Because you put a lot of people together.
Yeah, we started our research about a month before COVID hit. And so we had a lot of time to really dig in. But the remarkable thing, the explosion of Zoom around the world really allowed us to continue our research all through COVID. And we just worked on, this is what we've done for quite a while, of making connections in different countries, talking to the people on the ground, letting them guide us to what they think the real issues are. And we talked to over a dozen different groups in different countries, or dozens of countries, and they kept saying the same thing again and again. It's the lack of jobs, and it's the access to jobs, and especially for women, because the few jobs there are go to the men first. And what kept coming up again and again is this intersection of women and entrepreneurship and gaining financial independence. And that is what really helps them gain their rights, as well as addressing poverty in communities. And really, you just don't hear about poverty in the headlines the same way. I mean, the world is so volatile right now. Politics is volatile, climate, and you just don't hear about the poverty that's stagnant, but it is changing and you can impact it. And it's women that are doing it tremendously. So we follow these 3 amazing women and they really just bring it all to life.
Well, I'm not going to lie. The T word has been pretty big in the area. And when I think the woman said something about, and then there was shooting, I go, you don't know how difficult it is in the middle of that. And then after because you never know the side, never know what's in the middle, but I love that you had it right there, because then you go, ooh, it's really big. And then you go, but then you have that music and they go, oh, there's the hope right there. So what did you learn? Because, sometimes, as you said, and I say this to my mother all the time, you see it, but you don't know anyone that's there. Now you know the people that are there. So it may or may not make headlines, but either way, you're like, no, I know those people. And I've had people that go, you don't get it. And I go, I don't, because I don't live there. But help people that have not been there, that do not know the people that you do now. What did you learn?
You know, I think one of the biggest things in the research was that there's still a third of countries that have laws that limit women from the type of job they can do, the hours. A lot of women are prevented from working at night, but that means if you only have childcare at 7 o'clock when your husband gets home, you're not allowed to go to a job at 7 o'clock at night. You can't sign a bank account on your own without a husband or a male co-signing with you. So there's a lot of just practical laws that hold women back and the cultural barriers. But then in getting to know these women, there's also a lot of women that find ways to work around it, or the few places where you see those rules and those laws changing, then suddenly within one generation, there's tremendous change. And I think our focus in the film was to really get to know these women and follow them as they run their business, what they talk about, they describe their goals are, talking to the women that are working there and getting to know the communities. We don't have a lot of talking heads. We don't actually talk about the laws a lot, but you get to see the impact of them. And Magat in Senegal, who's in the trailer, she's the very outspoken one in some ways, but she is on a mission because her life was so deeply impacted by this, both good and bad, and it just transformed her life. So she is back in Senegal now, running a business in one of the hardest places you could ever try to run a business, because she wants to make a change and show that it's possible. And she's out there, you know, doing the talks and almost campaigning with this mission to get the word out for people to see what can really happen and what can really make the change.
I love it because, and people don't get it. Sometimes you think, "Ooh, big corporation." You go, no. Sometimes it's the people that can help other people out when it comes to how to make money and how to make a biz, and that rebounds the whole community usually. Then when you have people like at the top doing, and I'm not sure about the area. I don't know what, because, and sometimes people are like, "Oh, don't talk about that or talk about that," because it's always changing. We have right now, you know, some things that are in the news, and I go, I don't know if I want to talk about it because I don't know if it's going to be a thing later, and I hope it's not. But, and some go, I don't want to talk about politics. I go, but it happens, and in the area you go, that's where, and it could not be. Some say, no, it's you, it's us, it's they. Back to a word that people use, or impoverished is a good word, or how did they get to poverty? How did they get to that point in time? And I think that's part of your story, or is it another story that you're working on?
No, it's the, you know, it's one of the biggest messages of the film. I think what you experience is that the innovators are right there. The entrepreneurs are right there in these countries. We don't need to be sending stuff. We don't need to go in and tell them what they need to do in their communities. They are right there. They have the abilities, and it's creating the environment that then allows people to grow a business, that allows them to get access to a job, and the infrastructure that's needed for that. There's support that is sometimes needed for that, but the people, you know, they know what they need and don't need, and they don't need us to come in and tell them. And if you just sit down and listen, they can tell you exactly, you know, oh, our community doesn't really need to focus on that or building wells and infrastructure. We really need this, access to the port, you know, and the women are right there. They will speak to you. It's just creating the environment where their voices can actually be heard. And what's amazing, good.
Oh, and it's allowing them to be leaders. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I tend to do that. I'm so sorry. But it allows them to be leaders in an area where you go, you need like more leaders. And you as women, that's what La Femme is about. Leaders. We need leaders. It's not always the guy. Sometimes a guy, I hate to say this, I've been saying it every single year, it's getting worse, limits the leader in the room. There's a business that I know just down the street. I go, it's going to not, because I have a book on biz. And because people go, you put a lot of business together, you help businesses. Yes. But what you don't understand is sometimes the guy in the room, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine. Go with the girl's ideas or the woman's ideas or the woman that you married. Then it'll go next level. But no, he was all me versus we. And I think when you work together as a we, it works, right? Wrong? Maybe. I don't know.
You know, it does. And that's so much of that is cultural. You know, and so certainly here in the U.S. there are the cultural norms and women in business. There are different challenges. But when you get in some of these other regions, the challenges and the barriers are, unimaginable in some ways for even what we try to deal with and what we try to bring awareness to in the U.S. and gaining that true equal opportunity. It's equal access, for at bat, and it's equal access and equal pay, and all of that is very important. But the women in these films are just getting to the basics of financial independence to take care of myself, so I am not in a bad situation or in a relationship I can't get out of, or that I can actually care for my kids and impact my community. Because there's a lot of study that has been done that it is women, especially in impoverished regions, when they are empowered financially, you see more change and growth in these communities. And it really does make a difference. And it's also, it means if women are participating, it's a healthier business environment. So that just also allows for a healthier economic environment. There's Gladys from Peru in the film. I love her story because I think any mom in some ways will relate to her, because she has this mother-daughter dynamic. Gladys came from the most extreme poverty. She saw tremendous, her mother struggling just to feed them, and some of the abuse that was there within the relationship for her mother and father. And she just knew she didn't want that. She got herself to Lima, Peru, to start just to find work, because she didn't want to live that same life she saw her parents living. But now, fast forward, she has started a mini market. She's looking to expand it. She's taking care of her parents and has gone through a lot of healing in that relationship. And she's got this young, early 20-something daughter. And there's this whole dynamic of, she's worried, like, am I spoiling my daughter? Is she going to have a good work ethic? How far do I go supporting her? But I don't want her to go out and just become another woman dependent on a man. So I have an 18-year-old daughter, and I sat there listening to Gladys talking about what she worries about and what she's trying to build and create and why. And it just resonates. So I do think this is universal. When you sit down and you spend, 90 minutes with these women, you know them, and then that's when you can connect and you can say, oh, I get it. What's needed for change, or what supports women in the best way. It's like you just get to know them and you realize how much this is universal.
I love it. She Rises Up. It's and I can see behind you. By the way, everyone, at least the people in the room, are like, ask about where she at, because I want to go there. It looks like a safari. Where are you at exactly?
Oh, this is the Sky Film Central. This is the home office and headquarters for Sky Film. So,
well, it's gorgeous around, like, behind you. It just looks amazing. So keep it going. I see you have the poster. Did it fall? Because you have other posters. You've done other things, right?
Yeah. No, this is that's some Singing Revolution in the background there, some other documentaries we've done. And but this whole next year is going to be getting She Rises Up out there. Our hashtag is She Rises Up Film. And that's the website too. And you can track our progress coming out in theaters, and university screenings are really, we're getting a lot of interest there as well. And then eventually, we'll be streaming, but we really, you make films to get them seen. You make films to get them out there. So we believe of putting as much effort into the sharing and the distribution of the film and supporting that as much as making the film.
Well, I'm happy for you. Again, what country are you from? Like, where are you at right now, though?
It's upstate New York.
That's New York? That looks amazing. Yeah. I thought you were in like another. Okay, well, it looks amazing. I want to see that poster. Keep it going. And thank you for spending time with us. And we'll see you around the corner.
No, thanks for having me, Aaron.
All right. More right after this. More right after this.
gather here to commend our brother John to God our Father and to commit his body to the earth.
You think she knows that her husband was a scumbag? Yeah.
I gave that.
Mija, look what I found. It's nice. It was your mom's. I made it for her for prom.
Wait, you want me to wear it? Nana, I gotta go.
Ay, que yo me creo oculto.
Pero Ángela, ¿por qué te van a estar vigilando a ti?
Hay un chota en el grupo, Raúl.
Yo tengo agente.
We're here with Vanessa. Vanessa, good to have you with us. Pretty please. Now, I want to know about this. It's not long, but there's a reason, right? Can you talk about it?
Yeah, so Pretty Please, I guess just a little bit of backstory. So Pang, the artist, she had dealt with bullying, whether it was like making fun of how she looked or the size of her body. So this song embodies her confidence and strength to stand up for herself and not be afraid to speak her mind. And so in the video, she takes all the hits, but she keeps getting back up, showcasing her resilience and strength as basically she takes ownership of her life. So when people listen to her song, she wants to have them feel empowered as well, as she did in the video. And a little bit of backstory about me is that I've been a stunt woman for over 10 years. And so in a similar way, I have faced challenges on set about taking the hits and having to get back up until, we get the shot. And so interestingly, in stunts, there's this unwritten rule where you show up, you don't say anything, you do your job, and you go home. So hearing this song and be able to direct it and produce it means a lot for me, because I have a voice now as a director, because as a stunt woman, I felt like I couldn't really speak my mind. I would just do my job and that's it. And so it's like I have opinions, I have something to say. So this is also a way for me to show that I have the strength and confidence to stand up for myself and freely show myself as an artist, which was very exciting for me.
So and I believe, is this your directorial debut then, technically, or not really? Or how do you work that?
This is my very first music video. And it's interesting because when people see this, they're like, it definitely doesn't look like your first time. But even though it is my first time, I have, over 10 years experience being on sets like Terminator, Transformers movies. I did Transformers 5 and 7. I've been in like a Star Wars series, The Book of Boba Fett. I'm in a few episodes of that, playing a character. And I've also been on the Avatar 2 set during like pre-production and all that. So I've been around a lot of very big budget movies. But, the challenge doing a music video, you don't have a lot of money and you don't have a lot of time. So it's, yeah.
Well, here it is, Pretty Please. It's really quick.
I dare you. Oh, pretty please, come mess with me.
That's it. That's all you got. It's a music. What do you want? Look, and I love how you shot it, and I get it. You like something that looks very professional, something that looks like very finished and very like, because I know, and I know we have. Do you know Gio by any chance?
Oh, Corvera?
Everyone knows Gio. Yeah. Shout out to Gio. I know Gio, and I know everybody in stunts. I got introduced and I said, wow, you guys are awesome and amazing. So you did something, and I love it, because I know Gio's worked on a video like this, but he was technically a coordinator and he worked with the music artist. So How did this come about? And I know you mentioned it. You've done a lot of things. You've been around a lot, and you see it, and you go, ha ha ha. What did you shoot it on? It looks amazing.
Thank you. Okay, so I was hoping my DP could have joined us. So our DP was Ben Grant, and Ben Grant's mentor was Larry Fong, and Larry Fong was a DP for Zack Snyder films like Batman vs Superman, 300. But anyways, we shot it on an Arri Mini, and then we had ingenue lenses. So we had the French lenses.
Okay, now the people in the room are so like, because I tell them stunts, and they look at you, they go, "How is she a stunt? Like that makes no sense. She doesn't look stunt." And then you have they see the video, and even though it was a little short, they go, and others are like, "It doesn't take much." But and ask Gio, okay, because I know I had a conversation with a stunt person, and they said, "Look, stunt people tend to do stunts, but they're very smart. They're always watching. But if you give them a camera, watch what they'll do." Because sometimes, like Gio, he did it, and it was like a huge video. It blew up, and he was in it. He did the thing, but I think he made it happen. He said, "Okay, you move this way, you move that way." We had somebody on a writer earlier. You should team up and say, "No, actually, this doesn't work. That works." Because sometimes when you do stunts, it's different than like in that video. There's a movement that she does, and I go, "Oh, that does she actually, or does she like want to be?" Because sometimes they actually, and then sometimes you show them, no, it works like this. Can you do like that movement, or do you show them what to do?
Yeah, so I had also a stunt coordinator, fight coordinator, a handful of my stunt people as well. So the stunt coordinator is Vinny O'Brien, incredible stunt performer, also becoming a director as well. He helped with the choreographing along with Bruce Inaba. And then my other stunt performers were Nikki McGee and Jackie Gerhardy. Sorry, Jackie, if I messed that up. But they've all worked on really big film sets. So when we got on the set and we started, making some tweaks, because basically the original choreography that we had for Ping, and by the way, we had like 3 stunt rehearsals before then. And then with the dancing, we had like 4 stunt rehearsals. So there was a ton of prep that happened before getting to this music video. But yeah, she's not a boxer, so we basically had a teacher. And so we, during rehearsals would go over some movements, and leading up to the music video, we gave her some drills to work on just so that she can, when she puts up her gloves, she can kind of embody the movement of a boxer. So, but she's also very good at picking up movement, having been a gymnast. She was my teammate at UCLA, actually.
Now, I'm going to say this, okay, because I know a lot of people in stunts, thanks to Crystal Santos. Crystal was my introduction into everyone's stunt, okay? So we would go to AFM, we'd go to other things, and she's like, "This is the world of stunts." And I'm like, "Ooh, she goes, "No, you cannot." And do you set yourself on fire, or do they set you on fire, or do you want it? Like, because you're that person to go, "I'll do it," and then you do it. Or like, what's the thing that you said, "I don't know if I can, but I think I can," or you just do it?
Yeah, I mean, usually with stunt people, unless the coordinator feels like you can't do something, they probably wouldn't call you. But to do like a fire burn and all that, there's a whole team that goes on with that. So they have like, the fire gel, tons of safety stuff. So, I mean, it really just depends. Interestingly, I haven't had to do that on the movies I've been on. I'm either fighting, falling, I'm flying in the air, breaking through walls, or doing all that crazy stuff too. So
Again, it's a world, people, because you can also act as well. And I can see that. I think someone needs to do that. So which do you want? Because you're doing, Gio needs to do this. He needs to do his own. Get Gio in the room. Say, "Hey, let's do a film together. You direct it though, and I'll act in it. And then you act in something, I direct. And then he has a whole team. You have a whole team. There's another team. I think the Lynn team. I can't remember. I met them. I was at an event. There was a bunch of stunt people, and they do a lot of stuff, like just a lot. Anyway, Justin Lynn has a whole team, right? Do you know that team?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were looking at someone else. Yeah, I mean, within stunts, there's a ton of stunt groups. Like there's Stunts Unlimited, there's 8711. 8711 does a bunch of like the John Wick movies. There's Brand X. So yeah, I mean, within stunts, there's a ton of different groups, and if I saw their face, I'd be like, "Okay, I know you," because usually the people that work a lot, it's like you kind of run into them.
It's a
pretty
small
often.
world, and yet
It is
it's
a
really,
small-
yeah, it's all around. And then you go, ooh, because I remember like they were like, ooh, maybe the Lynn team's going to be a part of this. And then I don't think it happened, but it should have, but whatever. The point is, good job, great job. I'm glad you're directing this. You have more than just directing, but man, what an eye. Your DP, awesome, great camera. Did I ask what camera? What camera?
Airy Mini, and then we used Ingenue lenses.
Oh, that looks amazing. How long did it take to get it all done, like edited and, did you do any shoots again and go, oh, or did you just know this is the shot I want? Did you storyboard it? Did you?
Yeah, so leading up to filming, tons of prep, having been the producer. But what's crazy is that we filmed all of this in one day, 14 hours, which was an incredible feat because we have a whole boxing scene and we have a whole dance performance. And so decisions had to be made pretty quickly. And I think also what I'm most proud of as well is that we had 2 safety meetings right when it was 6 hours from crew call. Everyone was eating lunch. So we pretty much kept to schedule. And I was very grateful that the team that I brought on meant that, everyone did like an amazing job, but then also it went like really smooth. There was something else that I wanted to say. Yeah, so when I showed this music video to other producer friends of mine, they were like, how many days did you film this? Was this like 3 days, 4 days? Because technically it should have been. We have like 5 different looks. We have like the white room, the boxing tunnel, the boxing ring, we have the warehouse, and then we have the beauty, the gold look. And so how we fit that all in one day, it was just like, okay, because I was also the editor on the project. In my head, I was like, okay, like what shots do I really need in order to make this video happen? Like in the boxing scene, we need a beginning and an end. And then we had to just I'm just so grateful that everyone showed up because, on these kinds of projects, we don't have a big budget. And so some people could have just been like, well, I guess maybe I won't show up. But everyone did, and everyone did.
And oddly enough, sometimes they show up and they do it because I know I've showed up to a couple. I go, am I gonna make the Annie go? I'm not even in it. Or I did something dumb, and they had a boxing thing, and they say, okay, you ding it because they didn't have the dinger. But I don't watch boxing, so I didn't know what the ding was. So I dinged it at the late. They go, can you do it again? I go, I'm so. Ask Gio. Gio was on that. Probably like, what? He's done a lot of fighting ones. So anyway, shout out to the whole world of stunts. But great job directing. I'm going to show it again because it really doesn't. Oh, say what you want to say, Vanessa.
Oh yeah, I just want to give a shout out to everyone that worked on this music video because there was at least like 60 people involved during pre or post production, and this video would have not been possible if everyone didn't contribute their full effort into making this happen. And especially of course Ping, like she brought it. She was also an Olympian for Canada, so it's like I knew that us working together we were going to create something magical, but then also everyone like in costume design and like stunt choreography, every single department is so important. I hope everyone knows that. Like this, yeah.
Well, here it is. Here's the finished product, guys. It's a trailer, though. Yes. Show up to support. Okay, but I was in it. Show up anyway. Tell everyone I'm in it. I think.
I dare you. Pretty please, come mess with me.
Good job, Vanessa. We're going to let you go. I'm way over time. Thank you for making it, and thank you for bringing it to La Femme. Hopefully, we'll see you, okay?
Okay, I'll see you. Thank you.
we're here with everybody and anybody, and this is an interesting. It's an eco horror story about Mother Earth versus humanity, told through a bullied teenage girl. Okay, who put this together? First of all, we got Steve, Amelia, Roberta.
Oh, you're muted, Amelia.
Sorry, like we all put it together, but I guess it all started with me.
Let's use the whole brain behind the operation.
Yeah, I wrote this story for my niece Madison Fair, who plays Frances Froggy, and it kind of turned into this very timely story about Mother Earth versus humanity, and it just sort of worked out to tell it as, you know, through a high school point of view, which makes it kind of more fun, and there are opportunities to do, you know, throwbacks, and yeah, so that's sort of where it spawned, I guess, the frog.
Okay, so let's see it, and then okay, here it is. That's it. That's all you. That what? It's a trailer. I mean, so how long is this, by the way?
The short is 15 minutes.
Okay, 15 minutes. Now, obviously, you got a team here. Roberta, Steve, what do you want to say?
Thank you for having us, and we're very excited to, you know, to share Froggy with your audience. I am Roberta Sparta. I was the first assistant director and associate producer in Froggy, and it was the beginning of my collaboration with Amelia. We have 2 other projects going on right now. One, it's a film festival as well. We are on our 2nd edition, so it's a very exciting adventure. And then we're putting another short together, and it's called Serenity. So I'm just very excited. That was the beginning of our collaboration.
Awesome. Steve?
Yeah, I played Mr. Woods. And he's an evil high school science teacher who pushes the main character even further into her journey to have to come back and get us all.
Well, you seem like a nice guy, so it seems like it was a reach. How did you get there?
You know, a lot of blood. There was some little bit of a slow motion, some distortion, some effects, and then I just looked mean, just like this, you know.
Got it. It was a reach. Got it. Okay. Yeah. Look, I love you, Steve. I think I need to see you more and more stuff. Putting this together, you put a great everything. It looks good. I know it's a short. Is there a feature, or is there something that you're saying? Ooh, we're on this next. And why the name Froggy? I think I got it kind of in the trailer, but I'll let you explain, because Froggy. Why Froggy?
Yeah, it starts with a high school dissection in class, in the science class, with the mean teacher, Mr. Wood. And yeah, so they all kind of taunt Frances and throw these dead frogs at her. And then they nickname her Froggy because she's the one that actually cares about the animals and what's happening in class and beyond. So, you know, that's sort of how they, you know, they find a way, you know, as kids do, you know, and adults too, to terrorize each other.
Well, I love it. I can't wait to see it. I see our audience actually that are watching literally with their head on the pillow, loving it, eating stuff. Because what we can see you guys, and he's cracking me up because he's so like, everybody's enamored by Froggy and what you're doing with it. So I'm going to show it real quick, and then I'm going to ask a question. Oh, here's a question. What do you, if you had the budget, because no one's been saying the budget that they've been working with. We've had one out there about 7,000 they raised on Kickstarter. And then some others are like, well, if we have, but they kind of, and I go, you mean thousands or hundreds? What budget are you working probably? And you go, I can make it happen. Like, what's the budget you would throw out there? I'll start with you. Any of you want to throw that out there?
Well, it is out there because Amelia also took on our fundraising campaign. And so, Emil, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we went out for our campaign was for $55,000. So we did a lot of work. We had a lot of, friends and family that helped, that jumped on board. Amelia also designed the merch, which became kind of like the perks that also you were getting when you were donating. And so we had a good budget, and we needed it because it brought a lot of value to the story and on the screen, and it just like, we made it happen. So it was a fun experience, fundraising through a social campaign, so a social media campaign, because that's where we ran it for the majority. So it was an interesting experience, but Amelia again did most of it.
So you have a huge base, is my point. So they are kind of your audience that say, watch it, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that we grew it because it was really fun to work on the the crowd fund, because there were so many different ways we could go, because there was like this eco theme, but it's also a horror movie, so we have references that are to our favorite like cult favorites and stuff, other movies, and a lot of influences, that came to be, but also, having this underlying message about what we should be protecting and not hurting. So it kind of turned into this other community. The communities that have grown behind the Froggy social media has been really great, and very supportive.
Okay, so come out. La Femme is where it's at. Regal Live. When you see on the big, it's really big. I think that's because it's hard to see on a screen like this. And then you go, and then you see on the big, you go, oh, that's what we want. So good job, Steve. We haven't given you enough time. I have a question. You're obviously very active. You have that bike behind you. What do you want to add? Or because sometimes they hit it and then, like, you know what I mean? You're like, you forgot this. Go ahead, Steve.
Well, I just want to say, like, the whole process was fantastic. From the audition all the way to the set. I really love stories that have a big heart, and this story has a gigantic heart, and it's I think it's very relevant, and I've often thought of, like, how does nature actually recover from the situation that we're in, and this is a really fun way to look at it.
Everybody does.
See, there's so much, and it's that trait. I'm just telling you, it's just all right. We're gonna let you guys go. Thank you for making it. La Femme is where it's at. Get your tickets. Support. It's LA. It's happening, and happen with it. Well, okay, we'll see you, everyone. Thank you for spending time with us. Thank you, guys.
Bye.